Hello dosto and assalamu alaikum. I'm Faraz Bugyo. I'm a teacher, blogger, short writer and artist. I've been teaching online various subjects related to English language. We started with essay writing and then pressy writing, and this time we are doing IELTS. This is third class of IELTS. Before we start our class, I would ask you to go to classroom.google.com and access PPT. We'll be talking much from PPT because today it's a writing task, and many of the prompts that you'll be getting, they'll be on PPT. So if you don't have PPT with you, there are chances it'll really be a problem for you to understand and grasp it. Okay, so I'll take maybe 1 minute to greet everybody, say hi to everyone, and then we'll start our class. Okay, thank you very much everybody. The class that we have for IELTS is getting a wonderful response. There are so many people all around the country and out the country interested in attending it. I upload all these classes on my Facebook page, and I also upload all these classes on my YouTube channel. Do watch them either on my page, and it's simple. I'm online on my page and my YouTube channel. Find Faraz Bugyo, you'll find quite easily. Otherwise I keep sharing the link on my page as well. So hello everybody. So Ruqayya, Qadir, Mahmood, Masood Mangal, Julia, all these people, welcome. Now I would ask you to please mention the people you would like them to come here to attend the class, and also share this video with your friends on the groups, with your family members. If they wish to attend these classes, do share with them also, and I'll also share on some of the groups where I'm admin. And if you're admin of any group, or if you know any admin, you can share this video with him or her so that they can also watch and share. Okay, so just a quick review. It doesn't give option of sharing to page. Okay, right guys, so just a quick review what we did in first class. In the beginning we started with and don't forget to like this page also everybody, the page that we are online from. Do like this page. Okay, we started with introduction to IELTS. I explained various parts of it, their marking system, and I also give you some tips for preparation. Then in our second class we talked about writing task, and I introduced more details about various kinds of writing tasks and their assessment criteria. And I also we also discussed how best you can prepare strategies to handle IELTS writing tasks. Okay, this time we'll continue quite for a longer time this writing task. So please get access to PPT. Once you have done it, do write it down or give me thumbs up so that I can formally begin teaching. And once again, I thank you very much everybody for watching me now or watching it later. It's much better to watch it while we are teaching now because it's more interactive. I read your responses and I answer them right then and there. If I don't answer, somebody from the participants answers it. And today in the end we'll do speaking practice also. Okay, good, right? So perfect. So this is first slide. It says done. Good. Mehran has done it. I'll see if more than one people, if there are 3 people accesses PPT, we can begin. Done. Okay, Sadia has done that as well. 2 more people. Yes, done. Okay, 3 people. 1 more person if says done, then I can begin. Those who are watching me later, I give this in the description. I give the details where you can access this PPT, also access that PPT and enjoy learning with me. I enjoy teaching. I'm sure you'll enjoy. Okay, so many people have access to this PPT. Good, perfect, good. Okay, so IELTS class 3, it's about writing tasks today. And what is it that we are going to talk about? Writing. How can I access PPT? Go to www.classroom.google.com and use the code. Perfect, smart guys. And the code is 2BB74RW. Thank you. Please write the code. Can somebody just, Shazib, can you please write the code here so that everybody can see also? And thank you very much everybody for being here. I keep thanking you all the time, and I'm so humble and thankful truly that you come and listen to me. It's a luxury, honestly. Teaching is a luxury. I enjoy. I take it that way. Okay, so writing tasks. This is in continuation to our previous class. In previous class, we talked about questions, and then I asked you questions also related to the prompts, related to the tasks which were given. So this is the actual task of IELTS on slide number 2. We did a few slides before, so let's read it now. General writing task 1. You should spend about 20 minutes on this task, and the task is, you feel that the evening programs on a local television. Now this is about general training, okay, and I hope you remember in general training, in the first task, there is a later writing. You are given ideas, you are given clues, you are given prompts about later writing, and then there's a task presented in front of you. You look at that and write it. So this is what happens. This is general writing task. You feel that the evening program on a local television station are uninteresting. Okay, that's the topic. What is it that you have to do? Write a letter to the manager. Write a letter to the manager of the television station. In your letter, now there are 3 things that you do. Remember we said, I told you that in task completion, it's important you answer all these 3 things which are here. Explain why you don't like programs. Describe what kinds of programs you would like to see instead. Explain why these programs are better. If you don't answer any one of them, your marks will be reduced. So in order to get full marks for task achievement, you have to answer all these 3 questions, or all these 3 prompts. And you have got prompts here. That's a question, and prompts are below. Write at least 150 words. You do not need to write an address. Begin your letter as follows: Dear Sir or Madam. You can write both of them, one of them. So write Sir or Madam, both of them. So this is how you begin later. Okay, and then what happens? Let me ask you a few questions now. How long can you spend writing this? Question number 1. Question number 2. How many words will you write? That's question number 2. Question number 3. What is the topic? That's question number 3. Question number 4. What 3 things do you have to include? Do you have to present a solution or fact, or provide fact? Okay, so you don't have to spend 15 minutes. You have to spend 20 minutes on this task. Good. And answer to question number 2. How many words will you write? 150. That's perfect. And what's the topic? What's the topic? The topic is letter to TV manager. Okay, yes, exactly. Good, perfect, good. Letter to, and what is the topic of the letter? Evening program. Okay, evening program on a local television. That's the topic is. And what 3 things you'll write about? Number 1, 3 things. What 3 things do you have to write? Number 1, no graph. We are not talking about graph on Miss. We will talk about 3 things. Number 1, explain why you don't like the program. Number 2, describe these, what kind of programs you would like to see instead. And number 3, explain why these programs are better. So as I said earlier, in task achievement, it's important you attempt all these 3 things. Okay, so these 3 things you'll be writing in your letter. Last question, what do you have to present a solution or provide facts? I'll wait for the answer. Do you have to present a solution or provide facts? Dislikes of program. Okay, that's 1, and 2 other things also. Okay, 2 other things. Also Kadir Mahmoud Sumro. So who is going to answer me question number 5? Do you have to present a solution or provide facts? You don't have to provide solution there, you have to provide facts here. Okay, let's read the question again and let's determine. You should spend. You feel that the evening programs at a local television station are uninteresting. Exactly, you'll provide facts. Write a letter to explain you don't in the first section, explain why you don't like the programs. Facts. Describe what kind of programs you would like to see. Explain why these programs are better. That's where your opinion will also come. So you'll provide both. Anybody who said both said the right answer. That's the correct answer. Okay, good. Now let's look at the task number 2. I'm on slide number 4. Let's go to slide number 4 and let's see what it says. General writing task 2. And it says, slide number 4, you should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Write about the following topic. And the topic is, in the past it was common for older people to live with their children and grandchildren so that their relatives could take care of them as they grew older. Nowadays, it's common in many places for older people to live away from their families in special homes for the elderly. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of special homes for the elderly. And your hint or your guideline is, give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. I'll read the question again. In the past, it was common for older people to live with their children and grandchildren so that their relatives could take care of them as they grow older. Nowadays, it is common in many places for older people to live away from their families in special homes for the elderly. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of special homes for the elderly. Now, that's where the trick is. Let's see if you understand it quite okay. Now, your questions are, question number 1, please write the answer. How long can you spend writing the answer? How long can you spend writing the answer? Question number 2. How many words will you write? Question number 3. What is the topic? Question number 4. Do you have to justify an opinion? Perfect. 40 minutes in all, and Mahanur Ansari is also right. We'll write, yes, 35 minutes, and you'll save 5 minutes. So in all 40 minutes and 250 words, all topics homes. Mehran, look at the prompt again and tell me the answers. Now the question is, what's the topic? Now let me see who gives me exact answer. What is the topic? Question number 3. Deshi Marvi, good Deshi, good. Yeah, that's right strategy. So 40 in all, and you can divide 5 for checking, 5 for planning. Yes, that's okay. It can work. Now tell me the topic. Question number 3. What is the topic? Exactly. The topic is not elderly homes, advantages and disadvantages. That means what? That means you have to talk about both. That's what the task is. So if you only write about advantages, then you'll not achieve yes, old age houses, but what about them? What is it that we are going to talk about them? We are going to talk about advantages and disadvantages of these houses. Okay, that's what we joint family. No, we are not going to talk about joint family, Mehran. Read the task carefully. Now remember one thing, in IELTS, if you don't do the task which is given to you, you'll not be given marks. You won't get high score, because your marks, you might be given marks for language, for sentence structure, for variety of words, for vocabulary, but for task achievement you'll be given less marks. So your band, your marks will go, your score will go down. So you have to talk about advantages and disadvantages. Exactly. Advantages and disadvantages of what? Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of special homes for the elderly. Okay, so typical scenario, of course we'll talk about this in the detail later on when we start doing it. Right now, today's class and maybe Monday's class, it's purely for analysis of questions. If you analyze a question properly, you can attempt it well. So we are just analyzing questions now. When we attempt it, we'll see how actually do it. But to give you a short clue, we'll write one paragraph about advantages, one about disadvantages. One will be introduction, one will be conclusion. That's how we'll write, but we are not going into that. We'll do it later. Okay, those who have joined me now, we are doing IELTS class and we are trying to analyze questions in IELTS exam. Right, so that's done. Now let's go to task number, okay, so this is what the questions are. Now let's go to the task number 1, describing graphs, tables and charts. Today in this class we'll talk about graph, bar graph. We need to know the names of all these, which we'll do in classes, because there's, if you are getting into IELTS, there's really a lot that needs to be learned, and slowly gradually we'll try to get there, but all these, it's naming is important. Okay, so in the task number 1 of IELTS academic, you have to write description of a graph, describing a graph, a figure, a structure, machine, process, and you have to unfold in the, it will be in figurative form, in the structural form, in the on a paper, there will be figures, you have to convert them into writing. Okay, describing graphs, tables and charts. When you write about a graph, table or chart, you'll have to give, now there are three things which are important. Number one, general description. Okay, if you are already making notes somewhere, do remember this thing. Your task is you have to do three things, and that's for every writing task. Number one, you have to give a general sentence about it. You look at the task and you create a sentence, you write a sentence on the basis of what general impression you get about it. It needs practice, understanding, which we are doing, okay, which we will continue to do for longer till we actually master it. So general description of the information shows, number one, general in this statement, a description of the information that is given. Describe trend. Trend means what's the dominant feature, what's, if it's something that is reducing, this is something that is going high, if there's a decline, there's an increase, there's a raise. So we'll understand the trend. So we'll say one sentence at least about the trend, or maybe two sentences about the trend, but we'll say something about trend or changes that you see. So third thing that we have to talk about, and which takes longer, is to compare things, because there's generally different scenarios given, different statistics given, we have to compare them. Let's look at the example. I'm on slide number 7, and on slide number 7 there is a graph. Now take 1 minute and look at the graph and see the dimensions. What are the dimensions? What is it in the graph on graph number on slide number 7? On slide number 7, when you finish, let me know. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. So when 1 minute is over, I'll stop you. Your time starts now. Finished? Perfect. Good. Now let's see what it says. We'll talk about this. There are two distinct years given. One is 2000 and other is 2010. And there are three bars. This is called bar chart. Okay, there are bars and therefore we call it bar chart. There are different kinds of, there are line graphs, there are bar graphs, there are pie charts, like round charts. So this one is bar charts. Okay, there are bars, and there are three things which we have to understand: rural, suburban and urban. Then what about them? Average cost of housing in three different areas: rural, suburban and urban. Okay, and this gray is the code for them. Black stands for rural, gray stands for suburban, and whitish stands for urban. And then there is cost given on the left side in the near the chart. Okay, now let's look at then what is the trend. Now general trend is that graph shows the average cost of housing in rural, urban and suburban areas in 2000 and 2010. Much of this will come from the question which will be given to you from the task, but you don't have to write the task as it is. You have to convert it into your own words. You have to paraphrase it. Okay, so this will be given already in the question. You have to convert it into your own sentences. What's the trend? The cost of housing in all three areas rose significantly. So you can see that cost in 2002 for rural and 2010 for rural going high. In 2000 and 2010, cost for suburban and cost for urban is going high. So that's a trend. This is how the graph is structured. So this may be a simple that everybody can understand, but not every graph is so simple. For illustration purpose, for example purpose, this has been said really easy for you. So that's what it is. Now third thing that you have to do is comparison. So let's see what the comparison is. The average cost of housing is lowest in the rural area and highest in the urban area. So we compared rural and urban area. So there are different kinds of comparisons. There may be year to year comparison, and there may be area to area comparisons. So comparison of one area with the other, comparison of 1 year with the other. So two kinds of comparisons can take place. Normally we do both of them. If you don't know how to do it, or I hope you understand what I'm talking about, but if you don't know how to do it, don't worry about it, we'll do it, because that's what we are here for. But right now understand that what three things you have to write. Number one, general description. Number two, trend. Number three, comparisons. Okay, and number two, comparison. In 2000, the average cost of urban housing was twice that of rural area. Okay, so you have to use these terms: twice, three times, thrice. These words are really important in comparing things. You don't only have to write percentage or amount, you have to convert that amount, percentage, into descriptive form. Percentage is okay, but I'll not get into detail. It might be confusing at this moment. We'll do it when we get there. The average cost of suburban housing in 2010 was almost three times as much as the cost of 2000. So the other comparison is that of a cost in suburban areas with the other, the year wise. So this is how we do it. Now let's go to slide number 9. On slide number 9, there are words given which are used when talking about graphs. Rose, increases or rise, rose, grew, fell, drop. We normally say, well, not normally, mostly we say, we describe the graph in past. So past tense has been used. Dropped, declined, decreased, increase, growth, rise, noun form. Now it's really important, if you use once rose, then it's really important that if you use one word in the noun form, if you have to use the word, it's good you use in another form, so you'll get marks for variety of words. But if you keep using rise, 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 so you get low marks for vocabulary, low marks for vocabulary. So you should have these words on your fingertips so that you can use them. So you have to use, don't have to overuse same word. Except, of course, keywords might be repeated, elderly homes might be repeated, but even if there comes elderly homes, the homes for old people, so you have to think of a substitute word. Okay, if you have to work on your synonyms for this purpose. Decline, decrease, and noun form. Increase, growth, rise, surge, decrease, drop, decline, steady, rapid, sharp, steadily, sharply, significant, slightly. Okay, so this is how these are the words. Keep them in front of you, save them in your notebook, keep working on these words. They are really important. Practice using them, get familiar with these words. I hope it's all making sense to you. It's not much difficult that we are talking about. No, it's not. Good. Okay, now let's let's do it. You have to do a task. Let's go to slide number 10 now. Look at the table below. Respond to each question with a complete sentence. Then I'll ask you questions. Okay. Now I'll give you 1 minute, 1.5 minutes to just look at the graph on page number 10, on slide number 10. Your time starts now. Right. Okay. So now answer these questions. There are a few questions for you. What is the table about? Please write the answer. What is the table about? Write the sentence. The table is about da da da. So say that. What is the table about? Manu, write complete sentence. We are in the practice session, so I want you to write complete sentence. Okay. Write like this. The table is about. Let's get into the practice of writing a complete sentence. I want you to do a proper practice by writing a complete sentence. The table is about food cost and the time for eating in different restaurants. Perfect. In this one particularly, we'll be using present because it's constant data, not changing data. Good job. Okay, so we got the answer from who answered this? Iram Pamar answered it. Good job, Iram. Okay, question number 2. Where is question number 2? Okay, question number 2. What happens to the, so when you say answer this question, what is the table about, you give a general description of it. Trend. What happens to the cost of meal between lunch time and dinner time at any of the restaurants? Do you see any trend? By trend I mean dominant feature, important feature. What happens to the cost of a meal between lunch time and dinner time at any restaurant? You can use the word which we just talked about. This might require a little understanding. The table is cost about lunch, and exactly that's what the general sentence is. Yes. Now tell me, what is a dominant trend? between the lunch cost of lunch and the cost of dinner? What's the dominant feature? If you look a little carefully, it's not that difficult to determine it. It's easy. Let me see who gives me sentence. So what's the difference, or what is it that you would say what's happening in the cost of lunch and dinner for all the restaurants? Exactly, exactly, absolutely right. Manur got it, Iram got it, perfect. Okay, good, excellent. So the cost of lunch is then dinner. So what would you say? The cost of meal lunch times has increased. Exactly. Qadir Sumro, Qadir Mahmood got it. Good, perfect. Good. So that's the trend. That's the dominant feature of it. Good job. Now let's answer question number 3. Now we'll compare the cost of lunch at a sit down restaurant with the cost of lunch at a cafeteria. So lunch, sit down and cafeteria. Let's compare the cost. Let's go to the cost of lunch and sit down and cafeteria. So what happens? Compare. One sentence for this. The cost of lunch at sit down restaurant and cafeteria is what? The cost of lunch at sit down restaurant is see, that's what you are saying in the words. You're copying it. Now you have to think of a word about it. One is it lower or higher? That's what you have to understand. Describing graph is not showing it just in words, describing it. So even if you don't have words, what is it you'll say? The cost of lunch in sit down restaurant is 10. Yes, but what is happening? Is it increasing? Is lower? Of course you will show examples. Is higher than. Exactly. So that's what you have to think of words in describing it. When we describe, we think of words. Is higher. How much higher? Now if it's words given, you can change it into percentage from 10 to 7. It's easy to understand. You can say that 30% higher. So you have to convert these exact words into something different than what it says. That's the reason you'll get. But you got the idea, you got the concept. Comparison 2. Compare the cost of lunch. The cost of lunch is less. Exactly. Good. Perfect. You have to describe. Good. Cafe restaurant is cheaper 3. Perfect. This is how you say it. Good. Cheaper by 3. Exactly. Good. Well done, Meet Sahab. Good job. 30% higher. Perfect. Got it. Good. Okay. Second comparison. Compare the cost of lunch and dinner at a fast food restaurant. So cost of lunch and dinner. Fast food. Let's go to fast food. And the cost is lunch. So what would you say? 5.50 $5.50 is lunch, is the cost of lunch, and 5 dollars is the cost of dinner. How would you say? Kadir, got it. Good. Yes, that's how you say it. Good. You don't have to copy the words. You have to find ways of describing it so that your reader can understand, even if they can visualize what could be in the graph. And they should go to the exact, if they convert your description into writing, they should be able to write this exact graph. Okay, so I'm waiting for comparison of cost of fast food restaurant at lunch and dinner time. The cost of lunch at fast food restaurant is 10% cheaper than the dinner at fast food restaurant. 10% cost of fast food. It's not easy to determine 10%. Why is 10%? Is it? Okay, 90, 10. Yes, it makes it 10%. Perfect. If you can say that, good. 100 out of 100. Iram Pamar is quite smart. The cost of dinner at first is bigger, is bit higher. Okay, a little higher, a bit higher, little higher. Then the is higher by 50 cents to be exact. Fast food restaurants 50 cents cheaper than, exactly, Mir Saab. Good, smart boy. Good, we got it. Perfect. Perfect. I'm so happy. We are getting good sentences. Now let's do the last sentence. Compare the time spent eating lunch with the time spent eating dinner. Exactly, that's right, Shahzeb, you got it. Smart boy. I mean intelligent, smart, intelligent. Good. Compare the time spent eating lunch with the time spent eating dinner at a cafeteria. Time spent eating lunch with the time spent eating dinner at a cafeteria. So we'll talk about just cafeteria and the time, 30 minutes and 45 minutes. So what would you say? There is a 15 minutes difference of food eating. Okay, that's a different, but what's the difference? Which one is higher, which one is lower? You would say that, but you got the sentence. That's right sentence. I'll give full marks for this. Qadir Mahmood, you're doing good job. Yes, that's the sentence we use. 15 minutes difference. But the difference, let's be a little more specific. The difference in what? Which is higher, which is less. So if you tell that, that will be maybe full marks. 50% less time. Okay. exactly, lower than that. Yes, lower by how many? By is 50 minutes lower. If that's more exact figure, okay, that's 50 minutes lower than that of dinner. Exactly, we take 50 minutes for higher than taking lunch. We, not we, okay, people. So it's a formal writing, so let's not include we in that. 50 minutes higher than. Good job. I'm so happy we got it. I think we got through some important features of it. That's it for today, everybody. We'll stop our class now. Just a quick review. In today's class, we looked at the questions and we tried to analyze those questions, and we tried to understand what's the information that's demanded from us in questions, in prompts, and we also did a practice of writing description of a table. There's a homework for you. The next one is a bar. There are 2 bars and there are 5, in fact 6 questions for you as homework. Slide number 12 and 13 is homework. Answer these questions, write them here in the Facebook chat. I'll read them and will comment. Okay, so let's do it. Now what we'll do, we'll go for speaking practice now. Okay, so let's go for speaking practice. For speaking practice, we'll go to Instagram. I can see there is also possible to do speaking practice here as well, but I'm not sure. So first let me do a practice on my own, but right now we'll go to Instagram. If anybody who wants to join me for speaking practice, please join me on Instagram now. Okay, I'll be signing off from here. Thank you very much, everybody, for being with me. It was nice talking to you about this task, writing task, and we'll have next class on Monday. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye bye. Take good care. Smiles.